There we go. Alright, hi guys, this is a special video for Eva and her class so that we can tell you a little bit about New Zealand, where we're both from. This is Blair, I'm Glenn. Blair's from the top of New Zealand, I'm from the bottom of New Zealand. So, I've got some questions that Eva's sent us and we're going to try and answer them for you guys so that you know a little bit more about New Zealand. So, first up, what are the most popular celebrations in New Zealand? So, Christmas is a big one for us. Easter, same as you guys, except Semana Santa in Mexico. What else, Blair? Solstice?
In the Māori calendar, the winter solstice is called Matariki, and that's a big celebration. And we also celebrate Waitangi Day, which is kind of like our independence.
February 6th. Okay, how is the Maori writing? So, Maori language before the Europeans got to New Zealand was spoken only, so they didn't write it down at all. And now that there is English language and the Roman alphabet available, it's possible to write Maori words using the same letters that we do in both English and Spanish. Do people in New Zealand have a different accent? Yep.
I don't think so, but you guys might be able to judge. Do we sound funny?
I think we sound normal. Everybody else sounds strange. When is the best time to go to New Zealand? Anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. It depends what you want to do. Skiing, snowboarding, winter's really good. The mountains are really beautiful in the south. For the nicest weather, probably February, March. It's lovely around Christmas too, but it's also very busy. So I'd recommend February, March. What's the most important city in New Zealand? So
It's got to be Wellington.
yeah, so Wellington's the capital city. It's where the government sits. It's where all the kind of all the political discussions take place. But there's also Auckland is the largest city, so it has the biggest population, and it's probably the most commercially important, the most important for business, I guess. What is the most important art manifestation?
That would have to be the koru shape, which is just kind of a spiral, and it's used in Māori art almost everywhere, in tattoos, in carvings on buildings, on their canoes. It's very, very common, and it's like the most important part of Māori artwork. And it comes from a fern in the forest. When a fern's young, it's curled up, and that's where they found that shape and incorporated it into their art.
It's very beautiful. Okay, what do we got next? What is the most popular food? So in Māori culture, it's the hangi. You want to tell them a bit about the hangi?
Yeah, hangi is like an earth oven. So you dig a hole, you put the food in with some hot stones, and then you put soil back on the top and leave it for hours and hours, and it slowly cooks, and then hopefully you can find it again and dig it up.
Yeah, delicious. And then also fish and chips is a big one. That's how we tell Australians from New Zealanders. We say fish and chips, and they say fish and chips. But they sound silly. We sound normal. And also meat pies, which is little meat pies, pastry filled. They're savoury. Mince and cheese is a good one. They're very popular. Okay, what are the most representative animals? So the kiwi is the most important one. It's a small bird. It's flightless, so it's also endangered. But we call ourselves Kiwis, so rather than saying, oh, I'm a New Zealander, we say, I'm a Kiwi, so that's very important. Sheep's a big one. In the 80s, we had 70 million sheep, so there was 23 sheep for every one New Zealander. There's a lot less now, we've eaten a lot of them, but it's still quite a lot. I think it's about 20 million. What else? What other animals?
I'd say the Hector's dolphin. It's just indigenous to New Zealand, and it's the smallest dolphin in the world. And there's actually not that many around now, so they're trying to look after them because they're quite endangered.
Yeah, cool. And there's also the moa, which is extinct now. It's been extinct for a couple of 100 years, but it was the largest flightless bird on Earth for a long time. So it's kind of looks like an ostrich or an emu, but it's much, much bigger. They're really, really tall, at least 2 meters, 2.5 meters. Okay, next question. Do most people speak Maori? Unfortunately, no. It's a bit of a dying language. So we looked this up, and it's about 4%, so about 150,000 people. I think probably not all of them can speak it fluently. Most people know a few words that you learn in school, and obviously Maori people are highly likely to speak it. Young teachers now learn it to some degree and teach their classes Maori, so it's definitely they're trying to bring it back, but it's difficult. Do Maori tattoos have a meaning?
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of meaning. Basically, the designs represent your story and your family. So I have a friend who has a lot of tattoos, and he doesn't really choose what will be tattooed onto his body. He goes to an artist, he tells the story of his family, where he's from, his tribe, and the artist basically listens to the story and then creates a design. And it's not until afterwards that the person will actually see what they've had tattooed onto them. So it's quite an unusual way to do it, but there's a lot of meaning there, so it's kind of a good way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. They're very beautiful too. Really interesting designs. Okay, that's all the questions. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. We love New Zealand. Obviously, we're from New Zealand. You guys should go and visit. And yeah, I hope that was really helpful, and that you guys enjoy the rest of your project. Bye, Eva. I'll see you next time I'm in Mexico.
See you guys. Hope you like the hats.
Cheers.